One of the key elements of the financial statement is the preparing of impairment test. Theoretically, could be argued that the write-downs are made after the objective characteristics have been fulfilled. Unfortunately, this is at least partly a misconception. Too many times impairment is a question, and I saw it out loud and a really proactive way now about the purpose of management. Company management always has more information about the economic situation of the company than anyone else who complies with this decision. The typical items that can be defined are goodwill, various intangible assets such as development cost, patents, licenses, and so on. Also, write-downs have been done to receivables such as trade receivables, loan receivables, and various shares. Mainly perhaps the shares which are not valued at fair value, such as associate company shares and group shares. Reasons for an impairment test can be divided into two different categories, some of which are from the company's own sources, the so-called internal indicators of impairment. This includes, for example, loss-making contracts and loss-making businesses. The other features are external features, such as changes in interest rates and general economic development. Impairment testing can be done in two different ways, which are both correct. The carrying amount of assets or group of assets shall be exceeded either by the selling price less cost to sell or value in use. Of these methods, the selling price less cost to sell is rarely available, at least for the entire businesses, but for individual assets this may be available. Usually value in use must be used. Thus, it is sufficient for one of these methods that the other exceeds the book value, so there is no need for impairment. Value in use is more challenging for the valuation point of view, because in practice the assets are valued in a way that they generate the money to the company. If you think about what management need to estimate are, for example, income generated by the asset, expenses incurred by the assets, maintenance cost from the asset, possible residual value, time of using the asset, the discount rate. Adding to this activity is not an asset but a business, so you need to include working capital items. As you can see, quite a lot of these items require management considerable assessment. Too often I have found that significant write-downs are made when company's management has changed. In a way, it is logical that the cash flows are reassessed. But has the previous company management really done all the acquisition so badly that goodwill should be written down? The cynic would say that the new leaders are cleaning the table to get better rewards. Too often I have seen that the non-requiring write-downs have no impact to management rewards, even if they have a significant impact on future earnings for the company. Consider a situation where assets are impaired and this has no impact on management rewards. In the future, operating profit, on the other hand, has lower depreciation, which increases the level of rewards. On the other hand, it also comes to my mind that after a bad result, impairment will be recognized because the management has already lost their bonuses. But as stated, in theory, write-downs are an objective things, but only in theory. Too much of a smoothing of result. A separate lecture will be held on the technical performance of the impairment tests.